Have you ever heard the phrase, "No is a complete sentence"? Think about it. One simple word, no, can hold the power to change your life. Yet, so many of us hesitate to say it. Why? Because we're afraid of disappointing others, hurting feelings, or being judged. We pile up obligations, commitments, and responsibilities until our lives feel cluttered and overwhelming. And in that chaos, we lose something precious, our peace, our energy, and most importantly, our freedom. James Altucher and Claudia Azula Altucher, in their book The Power of No, shine a beacon of hope for those of us drowning in a sea of yes. They don't just teach you to say no, they teach you to embrace it, to wield it as a tool for reclaiming your time, your energy, and your life. Saying no is not about being selfish, it's about protecting what truly matters to you. Imagine this, your life is a suitcase. Every time you say yes to something unnecessary, it's like throwing in an extra item of clothing. At first, it feels manageable. One favor here, another task there. But soon, the suitcase is bulging, the zipper won't close, and you're struggling to carry it. Life isn't meant to be that heavy. The Altitudes teach us that by saying no, we're unpacking that suitcase and leaving space for the things that truly matter, the things that bring us joy, purpose, and peace. This isn't just about permission to say no. No, 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 it's so much more profound. It's about discovering the power in no. It's about realizing that every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to something that fills you up. You're saying yes to health. Yes to abundance. Yes to happiness. The authors draw inspiration from Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, pointing out that embracing the present moment and understanding our priorities requires us to become masters of no. When you know how to say no, you unlock the freedom to say yes to the things that truly matter, your dreams, your passions, and your deepest connections. But here's the beauty, they give you tools to start. Practical exercises guide you, step by step, to take control of your life. Imagine this, the next time someone asks for a favor, instead of automatically saying yes, you pause. You take a deep breath and think, does this align with my values? Will this bring me closer to my goals? Will this bring me joy? If the answer is no, then you say it. Calmly. Firmly. Without guilt. Saying no isn't about shutting people out, it's about opening your life to what truly matters. It's about learning to put yourself first without feeling selfish. It's about protecting your energy so you can show up as your best self for the people and things you truly care about. Young one, hear me when I say this, the world will always demand more of you than you can give. It's not your job to meet every demand. It's your job to discern what's worth your energy. Saying no isn't a rejection, it's a declaration. A declaration of your worth. A declaration that your time and energy are precious and that you refuse to squander them on things that don't serve your soul. So, start small. Practice in front of a mirror if you need to. Write down your boundaries. And every time you say no, remind yourself that you're choosing you. You're choosing your health, your peace, and your happiness. And that, my dear, is the most powerful yes you can ever say. Our inability to say no is one of the silent thieves of our joy and peace. It sneaks into our lives in small ways, starting with an innocent favor here or a social obligation there. But before we know it, the weight of all these yes begins to crush us. We feel overwhelmed, drained, and trapped in a cycle of commitments that leaves no room for our own needs. The Power of No is more than just a book, it's a wake-up call. It asks us to stop, reflect, and be brave enough to say no when our hearts and minds are screaming for it. And here's the thing, learning to say no isn't about being rude or selfish. It's about being honest, kind, and respectful to ourselves first. Think about your anxieties, your pain, your moments of deep exhaustion. Where do they come from? More often than not, they're born from the pressure to meet everyone's expectations. We're taught from a young age to please others, to fit in, and to always say yes, yes to favors, yes to social norms, yes to things that drain us. But let me tell you something no one else will. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to yourself. This book invites you to break free from the chains of peer pressure and societal expectations. It asks you to take a good, hard look at what truly matters in your life and encourages you to let go of anything that is toxic, distracting, or harmful to your growth. Your time, your energy, and your creativity are not limitless resources to be given away without thought. They are precious, and they deserve to be protected. Think of your life as a garden. Each yes you say is like planting a seed. If you're constantly planting seeds of obligation, guilt, and pressure, your garden will become overgrown with weeds, choking out the flowers that truly matter. Saying no is like pulling out those weeds, clearing space for the beautiful, meaningful things to grow. We're conditioned to think we need to impress others, to prove our worth by how much we can take on. But let me ask you this, who are you trying to impress? The people who love and respect you will not measure your value by how many yes you give. And the people who demand you say yes, regardless of your well-being, they don't deserve a seat at your table. The power of no provides a framework to help you redefine your life. It teaches you to focus on what you truly value and to rid yourself of the things that harm your creativity, peace, and potential. It reminds you that you are entitled to a life that feels meaningful, not one that is crammed full of obligations you resent. And here's a truth you need to hold close, you don't owe anyone a yes. Saying no doesn't make you selfish or unkind. It makes you strong, self-aware, and wise. It's a small word with enormous power, capable of saving you from burnout and despair. Imagine this, you're offered a commitment, a task, or an invitation. Before you answer, take a moment to listen to your body and your mind. Do you feel anxious or pressured? Do you sense that this yes will take you further from the things you truly care about? If so, say no. And say it without guilt. Because every no you speak is a yes to something better, a yes to your peace, your creativity, your potential. My advice to you, young one, is this: start small. Practice saying no in situations where the stakes are low. Build your confidence. Over time, you'll find that no becomes easier to say, and your life begins to transform. You'll have more time, more energy, and more room to pursue the things that truly matter. So, let's stop the cycle of overwhelming ourselves. Let's take a stand against the pressure to conform and the need to impress. Let's embrace the courage to say no, and in doing so, reclaim the power to lead lives that are meaningful, fulfilling, and entirely our own. Choose life. At first glance, it might seem like a phrase pulled straight from a pop culture moment like the iconic Trainspotting monologue. But in reality, it's so much deeper than that. It's a call to action, a challenge to reclaim your time, energy, and ultimately, your life. And the secret? Learning to say no. The authors of The Power of No don't just argue that saying no is important, they insist it's vital, so much so that it can save your life. Let that sink in for a moment. Every no you've been too afraid to utter, every yes you've said out of obligation, fear, or guilt, has taken a little piece of your life away. But here's the good news, you can stop this pattern. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself chasing a relationship with someone who isn't right for you, or worse, doesn't even value you? Maybe you stayed because you thought you could fix it. Or maybe you felt it was better to hold on than to face the fear of being alone. But deep down, you knew. Your gut, your intuition, your inner voice, it was all screaming no. And yet, you said yes. Now let's expand that. How often have you overcommit to tasks, responsibilities, or obligations you didn't want in the first place? How many times have you agreed to something because you didn't want to let someone down or because you thought it was expected of you? You might have even created a mental pros and cons list to justify it, ignoring that quiet but persistent feeling in your chest that said, "This isn't right." Here's the truth most of us avoid: saying yes is easy. It feels safe. It makes us look agreeable, dependable, even likable. But saying no, that's hard. It feels risky, rebellious even. Yet, when you hesitate to say no, you're actually choosing something far more dangerous. You're choosing a life where your needs, desires, and boundaries take a back seat. But imagine this instead. Imagine choosing life, your life. Imagine saying no to a toxic relationship and opening the door to self-respect and genuine connections. Imagine saying no to overcommitting and finding time to nurture your creativity, health, or dreams. Imagine no longer pushing aside your gut feelings or silencing your anxieties, but instead letting them guide you to a life that feels authentic and true. The authors ask us to reflect on something powerful. Why is it that we're so quick to say yes, but we agonize over the decision to say no? Why do we fear disappointing others more than we fear losing ourselves? Saying no doesn't mean rejecting the world, it means embracing yourself. It's about listening to the quiet voice inside that knows what you need, even when the world is pulling you in 100 directions. And here's the thing, saying no doesn't make you mean, selfish, or unkind. It makes you courageous. It means you've chosen life, your life, over pleasing everyone else. So, I ask you this, the next time you're faced with a choice, will you pause? Will you listen to what your heart is telling you? Will you consider how saying yes will affect your peace, your energy, and your happiness? And if the answer doesn't serve you, will you be brave enough to say no? Because when you choose no, you're not just rejecting something, you're choosing something far greater. You're choosing to honor yourself. You're choosing freedom. You're choosing life. Saying no isn't just about refusing a task or declining an invitation, it's a journey that demands courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to face some uncomfortable truths. It's not easy, but that's precisely why it's so powerful. When we master the art of saying no, we reclaim not only our time but also our energy, our focus, and our freedom. Think about how quickly we say yes. It often takes just a moment, a fleeting second to agree to something that may cost us hours, days, or even years of emotional energy. But saying no, that's different. It takes reflection. It forces us to confront the fear of disappointment, rejection, or judgment. Yet, the beauty lies in this struggle. Because each no we utter becomes a declaration of self-respect. It's us saying, I value myself too much to allow this in my life. The authors of The Power of No remind us that choosing life isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about embracing the reality that life will never be without struggle. But here's the key, struggles are not meant to defeat us. They are meant to shape us, transform us, and bring forth a stronger, wiser version of ourselves. Let's talk about those moments, the darkest ones. The moments when life feels unbearable, when the weight of pain, failure, or loss makes you think, I can't go on. Maybe you've whispered, I want to die. It's raw, it's vulnerable, and it's something many of us have felt but rarely admit. Here's the wisdom the authors share: these moments are not an end. They are a beginning. When you're in that depth of suffering, they challenge you to look at what needs to die, not you, but the parts of you that no longer serve you. Old habits, destructive thought patterns, toxic relationships, these are the things that must go. It's in these moments of despair that you have the opportunity to kill off what's holding you back and make room for something new. It's a rebirth, a chance to rebuild your life from the ashes of your pain. Saying no becomes your tool for this transformation. When you say no to the habits that harm you, you're choosing life. When you say no to toxic people who drain your energy and peace, you're choosing life. When you say no to situations that bring you unnecessary stress and pain, you're taking a stand for your own well-being. Imagine this: every no you say is a brick in the foundation of a new, healthier life. With each refusal, you're creating a space where your dreams, your joy, and your peace can flourish. It's not about selfishness, it's about self-preservation. Because the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't be there for others if you're constantly saying yes to things that deplete you. Choosing life is an act of love, for yourself and for the people who truly matter. It's about stepping into your power and realizing that your happiness, health, and peace are worth fighting for. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, take a moment. Breathe. Ask yourself, what am I saying yes to? And is it worth saying no to myself? And when the answer becomes clear, don't hesitate. Say no, firmly and confidently. With every no, you're not just refusing something, you're affirming your commitment to a life that's full of purpose, freedom, and joy. You're choosing life. Choosing life, a simple exercise to maximize joy and happiness. When it comes to building a life filled with happiness, peace, and fulfillment, one of the most empowering actions we can take is evaluating the people and habits that shape our daily experiences. The truth is, we are deeply influenced by the energy of those around us, and we have every right to decide who gets access to our time and emotions. This exercise is about reclaiming control over your inner circle and, ultimately, your well-being. Here's how you can start. Step 1. Reflect on your connections. Take a quiet moment to think about the people you see regularly, those you interact with at least 5 times a week. Write down their names. This could include colleagues, friends, family members, or even acquaintances you frequently encounter. Step 2. Rate their energy. Now, next to each name, rate how these people make you feel during your interactions. Use a simple scale from 1 to 10, where 1 represents someone whose presence drains or stresses you, and 10 signifies someone who uplifts, inspires, and energizes you. Be honest, this is your life we're talking about. If someone consistently leaves you feeling anxious, upset, or exhausted, it's important to recognize their impact. On the other hand, celebrate those who bring positivity, understanding, and joy into your world. Step 3. Reevaluate your time. Look at your list. Who are the people scoring closer to 10? These are your treasures, the ones you should prioritize spending more time with. They are your allies in creating a joyful, meaningful life. Now, consider the people scoring low on your list. Ask yourself, why am I investing so much of my energy here? It's not about cutting ties abruptly or burning bridges, it's about being intentional with your time. Perhaps you can set boundaries, limit interactions, or even distance yourself in a way that feels healthy and respectful. Step 4. Take a look within. While evaluating others is important, it's equally essential to turn the lens inward. What are your own behaviors and habits? Are there addictive patterns, toxic routines, or negative self-talk that might be holding you back? Write these down. Then, take one small but deliberate step toward breaking free from any habits that no longer serve you. This could mean seeking support, replacing harmful routines with healthier alternatives, or simply acknowledging the need for change. Step 5. Commit to joy. Choosing life isn't just about saying no to negativity, it's about saying yes to joy. Surround yourself with people who celebrate you, activities that light you up, and habits that bring out the best in you. The more you align your environment and choices with your happiness, the more fulfilling your life will become. This exercise is your map to a brighter, more intentional life. It's a reminder that you have the power to choose who and what you let into your world. And with every choice, you're creating a life that's not only yours but one that's worth celebrating every single day. Life is a precious gift, and it's far too short to spend surrounded by negativity or drained by unhealthy relationships. One of the most powerful steps you can take to create a joyful and meaningful life is to actively curate your inner circle. Who you allow into your space directly impacts your energy, mood, and overall happiness. It's time to reclaim your power by identifying those who truly add value to your life and gently distancing yourself from those who don't. Start by taking a moment to reflect on the people you interact with most frequently. Write down the names of those you see or communicate with at least 5 times a week. This list is your starting point, your inner circle of regular connections. Once you have your list, assign each person a score from 1 to 10. A score of 1 represents someone whose presence drains you, leaves you feeling stressed, or brings negativity into your life. A score of 10 represents someone who uplifts you, inspires you, and fills you with joy and positivity. Be honest in your evaluations. This isn't about judgment, it's about understanding the energy dynamics in your life. With your list complete, it's time to make some intentional choices. Look closely at the people who score high. These are your allies, the ones who encourage your growth and happiness. Make an effort to spend more time with them, nurture those relationships, and let their positivity enrich your life. For those who score lower, consider setting boundaries. This doesn't mean you need to cut ties completely, but it's important to protect your emotional energy by limiting interactions with individuals who drain you. Ask yourself, how can I prioritize connections that bring out the best in me? While relationships play a significant role in your happiness, they're only part of the equation. Take a moment to reflect inwardly and assess your own habits and behaviors. Are there patterns, routines, or addictions that may be holding you back? Perhaps there are negative self-talk or unhealthy coping mechanisms that drain your potential. Write these down with honesty and compassion. Recognizing these habits is the first step toward creating change. Finally, remember that choosing life isn't just about saying no to what harms you, it's about saying yes to what brings you joy. This exercise is a powerful way to intentionally build a life rooted in positivity, growth, and fulfillment. By surrounding yourself with uplifting relationships and addressing harmful patterns, you're taking control of your own happiness. Embrace this journey of self-discovery and empowerment, and watch as your life transforms into one filled with light, love, and meaning. Choose values, unlock the power of authentic living. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What makes my heart race with excitement or fills me with purpose? For many of us, pinpointing our interests and values can feel overwhelming. Yet, understanding these core elements is essential if we are to live authentically and make choices that bring us fulfillment. The beauty of this process is that it doesn't have to be daunting. The authors offer a simple yet profound way to uncover your interests, just follow your natural inclinations. Imagine walking into a bookstore or library with no set agenda. As you browse the shelves, where do you find yourself lingering? Is it among cookery books, marveling at culinary artistry? Perhaps history books captivate you, and you can't resist flipping through tales of ancient civilizations. Or maybe you're drawn to architecture, dreaming of intricate designs and creative structures. Wherever your curiosity takes you, it's a mirror reflecting your fundamental passions and values. This gentle exploration reveals what genuinely resonates with you. And knowing what excites you becomes a powerful tool for making decisions. When you are clear about your values, saying no to things that don't align becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural response. You can firmly and gracefully turn down opportunities, relationships, or commitments that don't honor who you are. But let's be honest, how many times have we ignored that gut feeling? How often have we said yes out of fear, obligation, or the need to please? Think back to those moments. Maybe it was staying in a relationship with someone whose values clashed with yours, or committing to projects that drained your spirit because you didn't want to disappoint. Each time you said yes for the wrong reasons, you likely felt the weight of resentment or the sting of inauthenticity. Living outside your values is exhausting. It creates lose-lose situations, where not only do you feel disconnected, but others sense the lack of alignment too. This is why choosing your values is non-negotiable. They act as a compass, guiding you toward decisions that bring you joy, meaning, and harmony. When you embrace your values and pursue your true interests, something magical happens. Passion enters your life. You feel alive, inspired, and genuinely excited. And here's the best part, passion is contagious. When you live authentically and exude enthusiasm for what matters most to you, you inspire others to do the same. So, take that time to reflect. What are your core values? What truly excites you? The answers to these questions hold the key to a life of authenticity, purpose, and joy. Choosing your values isn't just about saying no to what doesn't fit, it's about creating space for what does. Let your values guide you, and watch as your life transforms into a vibrant reflection of who you truly are. Choose silence, embrace simplicity and abundance. In today's fast-paced world, it feels like we're constantly surrounded by noise. Every direction we turn, something or someone is demanding our attention, be it advertisements, endless notifications, sensational news, or the never-ending scroll of social media. We're inundated with choices and messages urging us to consume more, to buy more, to do more. But in the midst of this chaos, there's a profound need to pause and say no to the noise. Why is this so crucial? Because our obsession with more stems from a mindset of scarcity, a belief that what we have is never enough. We think we're missing out, that we need the latest gadget, a bigger house, or a better wardrobe to feel satisfied. But here's the truth, chasing more rarely brings happiness. Instead, it leaves us drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected from what truly matters. What if we shifted our perspective? What if, instead of seeking more, we embraced the simplicity of silence? The authors remind us that abundance doesn't come from accumulation, it comes from gratitude. When we step away from the noise and embrace silence, we begin to see the richness of what we already have. We realize that simplicity isn't deprivation, it's liberation. Imagine being stuck in traffic. Your first instinct might be to grumble about the delay. But what if you reframed the moment? Look around you, notice the intricate design of the buildings, the rhythm of the city, the people in the cars beside you. Appreciate the technology that allows you to listen to music or a podcast as you wait. This simple shift from frustration to gratitude transforms the experience and opens the door to peace. The scarcity mindset is deeply rooted in human history. Our ancestors lived in a world where resources were limited, and survival depended on hoarding and competing. But we no longer live in that world. Today, we're surrounded by abundance, yet many of us cling to the old belief that we must always strive for more. This mindset blinds us to the wealth of resources, opportunities, and experiences already at our fingertips. The practice of choosing silence isn't just about turning down the volume on external distractions, it's also about quieting the internal chatter. When we embrace silence, we create space for gratitude to flourish. We start to see that the glass isn't just half full, it's overflowing. And in that state of abundance, we find the freedom to say no to the excess that clutters our lives and yes to the simplicity that nurtures our souls. Take a moment to reflect on your life. Where can you say no to noise and excess? How can you make room for silence, gratitude, and abundance? The journey to a fuller, happier life begins with this choice, to step away from the chaos, embrace simplicity, and recognize that what you have is already more than enough. The power of truly listening, to others and ourselves. One of the deepest lessons from the book is the art of truly listening, both to others and to ourselves. It's a skill that may sound simple, but its impact is profound. Imagine this: what if every time you spoke, someone gave you their undivided attention, as though it were the last day you had together? That level of presence can transform a conversation into a moment of connection, healing, and understanding. When we let someone finish their sentences, we honor their thoughts and feelings. It's a gift of respect that's increasingly rare in our fast-paced, distracted world. Take a moment to fully focus on the person speaking, without thinking about your response or glancing at your phone. This act of listening isn't just kind, it's life-changing. It allows you to connect deeply, foster empathy, and, sometimes, even hear the unspoken emotions behind the words. But listening isn't just about others, it's also about tuning into ourselves. Our bodies and minds are constantly sending us signals, but the noise of daily life can drown them out. When a negative thought arises, how often do we let it spiral, dragging us into a storm of self-doubt and fear? The book suggests a powerful exercise: shout "No" at those thoughts. Say it loudly and firmly in your mind, or even out loud if you can. Refuse to let negativity take over. With time, persistence, and discipline, those intrusive thoughts will begin to fade, replaced by clarity and strength. Anxiety and pain, too, are messages from within. They're not your enemies, they're your body's way of warning you about something that doesn't serve you. Maybe it's a person whose presence feels draining or a situation that fills you with unease. Instead of ignoring these feelings, lean in and ask yourself, why does this make me anxious? What is my body trying to tell me? When you honor these messages, you're taking the first step toward creating boundaries and protecting your well-being. Silence plays a crucial role in this process. It's in the quiet moments that we can hear what truly matters: our thoughts, our intuition, and even the whispers of our soul. When we silence the noise around us, whether it's from endless scrolling, toxic relationships, or unnecessary commitments, we give ourselves the space to heal and grow. So, how do we begin? Switch off the things that bring you pain, and replace them with things that bring joy, peace, and inspiration. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and create an environment where listening, to yourself and others, feels natural and effortless. By doing so, you'll unlock the transformative power of attention, empathy, and inner peace. Choose yourself, embrace your own path. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by the expectations and desires of others, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to us. The pressure to conform to societal norms, go to college, get married, secure a stable job, buy a house, can be overwhelming. But what if the life you're striving for isn't the one that will truly bring you happiness? What if, instead of living according to the script written by others, you chose to live on your own terms? Choosing yourself means saying yes to what you want for your life, not what others want for you. It's about discovering your own desires, values, and purpose, and stepping away from the expectations that don't align with your true self. As the book suggests, happiness doesn't come from acquiring everything you want, it's found in having a sense of purpose and meaning in life. Often, our true purpose is revealed through challenges, struggles, and suffering. Take Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha, for example. He experienced immense suffering, but through it, he discovered his calling and was able to create a life that was truly fulfilling. We all have our own unique path to follow, just like Buddha. But to find it, we need to stop living by the checklist others have handed us. We need to ask ourselves, what do I truly want for my life? This isn't about indulging in fleeting cravings or material desires, because, often, what we crave isn't actually what we need. For instance, we may crave a bigger house, but that may come with financial strain and greater stress, rather than the peace and contentment we expect. Instead of giving in to cravings, shift your focus to gratitude. Appreciate what you already have, and say yes to yourself. When you embrace your true desires and align your actions with your inner purpose, you unlock a life filled with deeper meaning. Your path will no longer be defined by what others think you should do, but by what makes you feel fulfilled, content, and true to who you are. So, ask yourself today, what does my heart truly want? And when you get the answer, have the courage to say yes to it. Because when you choose yourself, you choose a life of authenticity, purpose, and true happiness. Choose yourself, embrace your own path. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by the expectations and desires of others, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to us. The pressure to conform to societal norms, go to college, get married, secure a stable job, buy a house, can be overwhelming. But what if the life you're striving for isn't the one that will truly bring you happiness? What if, instead of living according to the script written by others, you chose to live on your own terms? Choosing yourself means saying yes to what you want for your life, not what others want for you. It's about discovering your own desires, values, and purpose, and stepping away from the expectations that don't align with your true self. As the book suggests, happiness doesn't come from acquiring everything you want, it's found in having a sense of purpose and meaning in life. Often, our true purpose is revealed through challenges, struggles, and suffering. Take Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha, for example. He experienced immense suffering, but through it, he discovered his calling and was able to create a life that was truly fulfilling. We all have our own unique path to follow, just like Buddha. But to find it, we need to stop living by the checklist others have handed us. We need to ask ourselves, what do I truly want for my life? This isn't about indulging in fleeting cravings or material desires, because, often, what we crave isn't actually what we need. For instance, we may crave a bigger house, but that may come with financial strain and greater stress, rather than the peace and contentment we expect. Instead of giving in to cravings, shift your focus to gratitude. Appreciate what you already have, and say yes to yourself. When you embrace your true desires and align your actions with your inner purpose, you unlock a life filled with deeper meaning. Your path will no longer be defined by what others think you should do, but by what makes you feel fulfilled, content, and true to who you are. So, ask yourself today, what does my heart truly want? And when you get the answer, have the courage to say yes to it. Because when you choose yourself, you choose a life of authenticity, purpose, and true happiness.